Good morning everyone and welcome to Sew Me Sarah. This is my little channel all about cross stitch, sometimes some other needlework, and I have a little bit of that today to share with you. And this is my little space here on YouTube where we talk about all those things that interest me and hopefully that interest you too. If you're new here, then you're very welcome. It is Sunday the 22nd of June. I was going to say January, but it's Sunday the 22nd of June 2025. You are very welcome here. If you're new, I hope that you will sit back, enjoy your stitching while you listen to me chat, and I hope that you will engage with the channel. And if you like it enough, be sure to subscribe so that you can be aware of when I next post. If you're a returning viewer, then you know that I cherish you very much and I appreciate you coming back week after week or fortnight after fortnight, as it usually is here, to say hello and support this channel and be part of my community here. So as usual, I start with a since last time, except there's not much to tell. Here in Northern Ireland, we aren't prone to super good weather very often, but we've had a lot of it this week. It's a little bit rainy this morning, but the last few days have been really hot for here, I guess. They've been really hot, sunny, bright weather. We even managed a little barbecue last night, which thrilled Charlotte. So she was really chuffed to have her hot dog and her hamburger. Although Charlotte eats really, really quickly. So by the time we actually get to sit down, she's almost finished. Anyway, it's a pleasure that she enjoys at speed. Okay, there's not really much other life news at the moment. We're heading towards the end of school term this week. And yeah, so things are just winding up, petering out. There are teachers' presents to sort, all that kind of, mummy admin. But we'll get there, and hopefully then we'll head into July and August when Charlotte will be off school, and it'll be a little bit crazy and a little bit of juggling, childcare, work, all of those things. But hopefully I'll find some stitching time in there to keep us sane, and hopefully we'll have a little bit of that better weather staying with us for a while as well. Okay, so you're here to talk about stitching, and I wanted to say a huge thank you for all of the comments that you posted last time. You kept me busy replying to comments because I do like to reply to every comment that comes here on the channel. I think there was only one episode where I didn't reply to comments, but I do like to reply to them personally. So thank you very much for that. I know that the 5 giveaways that were that were in the last video were an incentive for you to add your comment, and I want to announce the winners of those 5 giveaways this morning. I've just spent the last 45 minutes trying to find a random comment picker that will actually work this morning. I don't know what is going on. So there's 2 or 3 that I use regularly, and for some reason they were not picking up all of the comments today. So I know that there are 443 comments on the last video, and obviously I wanted all of those to be taken into account when we were running the random picker, but for some reason most of those comment pickers were only loading 200 comments. So obviously that would have been unfair to draw from just 200 of the comments. So anyway, it's a very long story short, but it was a long time to find a comment picker that would pick up all 443 comments. I don't quite know what was going on. Anyway, I got there in the end, and we have 5 winners' names now to announce. So the first thing that was up for grabs was the Cotton and Twine June subscription box, and this is a beautiful little pattern called, I've seen it called Tweety Birds, I think, and Birdhouse. So I'm not sure, on the copy that I have it says Birdhouse, but regardless of its name, it's beautiful, and I promise everything is still here. There's beautiful 32 count linen, there are your flosses and your needle, the chocolate is here, and the little ornament is here. So all of this is coming to you, Susan Thomas 8295. I'll insert your comment here. So If that's you, then please contact me, either direct email, this applies obviously to all of the winners today, by the email address that's in the drop down below, or direct message on Instagram, Sew Me Sarah, and let me have your mailing addresses and I will be able to forward those the prizes to you. So congratulations, Susan, the Cotton and Twine June box is yours. The Jean Farish Alphabet book, which is a reasonably new release, is going to 1504 Ellen. So 1504 Ellen. If that's you, Ellen, drop me a message or an email and I will get this in the post to you as soon as I have your address. The Luca S teacup kit, so 3 stacked teacups, kind of a pinky coloured set of teacups. This was won by Margaret Kinney 186. Margaret Kinney 186. Drop me a message or an email, Margaret, and this one is coming your way. Congratulations to my lovely friend Isidore Van Erp 1795. You are getting present blessings. So you're such a supporter of the channel. It was so nice to see your name come up to win this little chart. So just drop me your address. I think I maybe have it somewhere, but just drop it to me again anyway, so that I can be sure to have it. And I'll pop this one in the post to you. And then the last of the 5 giveaways was the Love to Stitch Biscornu and Scissor Fob pattern from Cosford Rise. And this one goes to my friend Roz Clark. So Roz Clark Crafts. I can almost speak this morning. At Roz Clark Crafts, you won this, Roz. And it's funny because your comment says maybe one day this Biscornu will be mine. So it's yours, Roz. Congratulations to everybody who won. Make sure that you send me your mailing address by email or on Instagram direct messaging so that I can get those in the post to you as soon as possible. So thank you so much to everyone for your interest. 443 comments, the majority of which had words, some of the words for the competition, the giveaway entries in. So that was nice to see that I had offered things that interested you, that you would like to have. So thank you so much. I wish I could give to you all of the time, but it's nice to be able to give back in this small way to some of you. So thanks again. Okay. Before I move on to my stitching, I just want to remind you that Historical Sampler Company are having a new stitch along starting on the 7th of July. This is their Halloween stitch along for the year, and it's called Pumpkin Patch. It's a 4-part release. They usually come out fortnightly, and as I said, starts on the 7th of July. So you've got a couple of weeks that you can still pre-order. You will be able to order the kit, which you can choose from 16 count Aida or 32 count linen for your kit. And as you've seen, they always provide everything you need: the needle, the thread, the fabric, and your patterns. Well, the patterns won't be in this kit because they'll be released fortnightly by email because of the Mystery SAL aspect. There are also lovely accessories available for this stitch along. Now, I've told you before about the Historical Sampler Company stitch alongs, and there's always a gift box that goes along with their stitch alongs. The gift boxes are super popular, and they do have a newsletter mailing, so lots of folks know about this as soon as it's released, and they like shoot, and they shoom, don't they? But they shoot off and they purchase it, so it goes really quickly, and there's always lovely themed items that match the stitch along in this gift box. So I know that at the moment the gift box is sold out, but a number of the elements, the accessories and gifts that are in there, so like the needle minders and scissors and other things that are in there, they are available to order separately, and you will find those also in the drop down box when you're purchasing and trying to order your stitch along kit, or just the PDF of the stitch along. Those needle minders and other accessories are listed in that drop down. So that's making it nice and easy for you to find them. They're always lovely quality products. I will say that about Historical Sampler Company. So if any of those interest you, like the little ghost needle minder, for example, then you can just add that to your order. So I'm just letting you know that that is still up for pre-order. It's starting not tomorrow, but next Monday, 7th of July. So you still have you still have time to get in on that. Okay, now for the stitching. Excuse me, I'm just gone a little bit dry all of a sudden for no good reason. I had another little spell of fully finishing some objects on Friday mid-morning. I took some time. I had ordered a couple of frames from Amazon and they arrived, and I wanted to frame up a couple of pieces. Now, in honesty, I was a little bit disappointed with my frames, but now that stitching is in it, they don't look so bad. The reason that I'm disappointed with the frames is I didn't check well enough, and they're not wooden frames, they are laminate with an oak effect. So I'll show you what I mean, but so they're, you know, maybe I'll replace them sometime in the future, but actually they look better once the piece is in them than they did just when they arrived. So I wasn't sure that they looked that great. Anyhow, enough of that, and let me just share with you what I framed. So I framed the 2 Modern Folk embroidery pieces that I stitched 1/1 on 25 count with licorice red floss, and those are I Am No Bird. Here you go. I Am No Bird. And the Real Comfort piece as well. Are they nice? So I think the stitching really helps the frames. I just hope the frames don't pull down the stitching, but as I've said before, I like a nice simple frame mostly. I mean, occasionally I'll go for something with a little bit more to it, but I like a nice simple frame. I'm wanting to put these into my lounge, which has oak coloured furnitures in there as well. It's cream coloured furnitures and oak coloured furnitures. So these will work really nicely, and I'm really happy with how they came out. I'm also happy that I got them fairly straight when I laced them. I mean, they're not absolutely perfect, but they're fairly straight. So I'm maybe not holding them as straight, but they're pretty good. So I'm really pleased with those. And it's lovely to see them out of the drawer because they've been finished for a while now, but not fully finished. So now that I've shown them to you, I can go put them in the living room. And these have little photo props on the back of them. So I think actually I'm going to put them on the top of the Kallax units that we have in the living room that have Charlotte's toys and her books in. So I think these will be nice on the top of there rather than hanging them on the wall this time. So we'll see. So I think they don't look so bad. The frames don't look so bad. And I think that your eye is going to the stitching anyway, so you're not noticing that too much. So those are my first 2 fully finishes. Then I finished the little trio of Christmas ornaments that was by this pattern. Now, the last time I showed you this pattern, I've been working at them kind of here and there. The last time I showed you this pattern, I said I thought it maybe came from Sudi Day in the Netherlands, but this is actually the shop name, Atelier Stiekjes en Kruidjes. I don't know if I've said that correctly. Apologies to those of you watching in the Netherlands who have just winced as I've murdered it. But anyway, but that is the shop name. So if you're interested, take a screenshot of that. And it's called Kerst Trio, and these are the little ornaments. So it was a little kit, and these are slim linen bands, and it was all cut ready for us to stitch on. And that is the Joyeux Noël one. And then this one is the deer, and this one is the little log cabin. So cute, cute, cute. I really enjoyed them. They are finished on the pattern, if I show you, with the red floss edging. I tried that and I could not get it to look nice. There isn't much in the by way of instruction on that. It just kind of says to, you know, go over the edges with the red floss, but I couldn't get it to look nice. So in the end, I just used a neutral thread, same color as the linen banding, and just stitched it up by hand. So there was no machine work involved in this at all. And even these little tabs were provided for you, and those are also little pieces of banding, so they have a nice finished edge on them. They're not going to unravel. Sorry, I don't know if I dropped that out of shot. They have a nice little finished edge on them too. So those are those 3 little ornaments. So cute. These were a gift from a lovely viewer, so I'm very grateful, very thankful for them. And when I hang them on the Christmas tree, I will always remember the kindness that they came with. So those were another little finish on Friday morning. And then this finish is Goldwork Embroidery, and I did share this with you way back when I received it. I showed it to you, but I don't think I ever showed it started. Maybe once, maybe. I haven't been good about sharing its progress as a WIP, mainly because I put it away. So let me explain. My lovely friend Margaret, who lives just 5 minutes away, she comes around, you know, maybe once a month or something for coffee and a chat, a catch up, whatever. Brings her stitching, and we have a nice little get together and catch up. But back in the autumn, she came and she gifted me this little box of Save the Bees Goldwork Embroidery Kit, and it's from the Crafty Heart. If you can see this, the Crafty Heart. So sometimes little ads for this, the Crafty Heart and her kits pop up on Instagram and Facebook. And Margaret bought us a kit each for this Save the Bees Goldwork, so that we could try something new. So each time she has come, since maybe Christmas time, we have been stitching a little bit and trying to learn this goldwork. So what this looks like, it comes as a kit with everything you need in it, and it's supposed to look like this. So take a deep breath and try something new. So that was the theory, and we had fun doing it. It was a challenge at times, but we had a lot of fun doing it. And I did mean to share the progress with you, but when Margaret would come, we would stitch, then it would be time for dinner and I would have packed everything away, and I kept forgetting to leave it out to chat about on the Flosstube episodes. But anyway, here is my bee, all sparkly and beautiful. Yes, I need a lot of practice, but this is my first ever goldwork project, and I'm quite happy. I think my tracing skills need some more work. Actually, I didn't trace the wings very well. They are symmetrical pretty much, but they don't look that way here. There's lots of things I could point out to you, but you know, here you go. There are lots of different types of gold. I don't know if you call it gold thread, but it's called pearl and pearl and double pearl, and I don't know, all kinds of names that don't mean very much to me. But there were nice instructions with this. There was a PDF instruction. There was a little bit of a video tutorial as well. This was nice to do, and it was lovely to do with a friend. So Margaret, thank you so much for the challenge. Thank you for the kindness, and thank you for the company as well. So I think we're going to try another of the Crafty Heart kits at some stage. I have bought us one this time. It's a little embroidered robin. So we'll maybe have a few months break and do our regular stitching, and then maybe we'll introduce the robin at some stage and stitch that together, and try something a little bit different for both of us. So we both do embroidery a little bit, but this, you know, it's just something else, and it's fun to try something new. I'm not going to go all out into goldwork, mind you, but it was fun to try something new. And I'm just going to pop this little bee into my basket of bee finishes. So I'm really happy to have this. So that was fun, lots of fun. So now I'll show you some of the whips that I've been working on. Well, actually I have finished items, not fully finished, but finished items. So I was working on Straighten Your Crown from Little Robin Designs. And this was a stitch that was my daily thread stitch, and I was doing 2 of these in tandem. So I have a blue one and a red one on the go, and I managed to get them both finished. The blue one is Gentle Arts Midnight, and the red one is Overa Soie 103, number 109. It's a lovely red. Red one is for me, which is why I put my initials and the date in a back stitch on the bottom of it. I don't do that often enough. I probably should find ways to initial my work more often. But down in this space here in the pattern, there is actually a bigger date. Can you see? Maybe can't see it there, down there. But I decided not to put it in, and I just used that a little signature effectively there, and I haven't put anything in the top one, which is for a gift. So I really enjoyed stitching those crowns. There was one crown pattern I didn't like. I just kept getting very confused with it, but and of course there are 2 of them in each. But I'm really pleased that I managed to get these finished. So I will probably make these up into little pillows. And as I said, one of them is for gifting. So that is the finishes of Straighten Your Crown. I'm gonna just keep my board out. I need to reuse the boards today. They're both stitched on 40 count overcast from Cedar River Linens, which was a beautiful fabric. My first time using one of the Cedar River linens, and the 40 count was lovely to work on as well. So obviously they're stitched 1/2 on those. My next finish is the Historical Sampler Company Stitch Along, the Spring Stitch Along, which was The Secret Garden. I have to say I loved every stitch of this. It was so fun to see this coming together. I love everything about it. I love the flowers. I love the way they go up and arch over. I love that they're different on each side. I love the birdhouses. I love the fox and the squirrel. It's not entirely spring. I think you could get away with using this all year round. I think it has elements of summer and autumn in it too, but I just love it. It was such a fun stitch along. If you didn't join the stitch along, don't worry, you can still get this pattern from the Historical Sampler Company. Everything that I show today will be linked below, so if this is one that interests you, because I know a lot of you have said, oh, I didn't join but it looks so nice, then it's still available for you. You'll get the whole pattern all in one go now. So that is The Secret Garden by Historical Sampler Company. So nice. I want to make this into a cushion front, so I have to decide what kind of fabrics I'm going to put with that, but I will look forward to deciding that sometime soon. Okay, next I have some progress on the Bee Queen, and that's by the Tiny Modernist. Here she is, as she should be. I'm stitching this. I started it last year on my 50 starts birthday extravaganza, and then I didn't really pick it up again until I was challenged by Andrew of the Runner Stitcher. He is doing a marathon challenge, and he is, oh, I've just knocked everything down. We'll keep talking about this one and then I will salvage what's now on the floor. Okay, so Andrew at the Runner Stitcher is training for a marathon at the end of August, and he invited all of us to train along with him, to support him by putting in 10 stitches for every mile of his training. He has a training schedule that you can access if you're interested. Go to his channel, The Runner Stitcher, and it's episode 45, although probably all of the subsequent episodes have that linked as well. So you can access his training calendar and see how many miles he ran. If he ran 6 miles today in his training, then I am to stitch 60 stitches. So some folks have increased that and said they're going to do 26 stitches per mile, whatever. So people have made it their own. Some people are stitching every day, keeping up with it every day. I am more kind of a couple of days and catching up sort of when I can, but I am up to date. And here is my progress on the Bee Queen so far. So I think since I last was here, I've pretty much done all of this. I don't think I had much of this done, this side done, when I last shared it with you. This one I have in Markup RXP. Originally started it on the paper pattern, but then I put it into Markup RXP. And Markup, I'm thinking, oh yeah, look how much I'm getting on really great. Look how much I've got done. But Markup tells me I'm about 35%. So obviously the majority of the stitching is in the bottom part of her dress. But I'm really looking forward to being able to get to that. So if you have a look at the pattern above her head, there's a moon. So I have to do the moon, and the moon, there's I think some moon, yeah, some moonbeams, some light. So so I think what I'll do is finish this and add in the little bees to get this side finished. I'll scroll so that I can add the moon, because that's all that is above. Oh, there's 2 more daisies, so the daisies and the moon, if I do that, and then I will come down here after that for the last part. But hopefully in July and August I'll make really good progress on this by keeping up with Andrew's training schedule. So I love her. I absolutely love her. There are some little areas of back stitching to go in, so there's some lacing in her corset to go in on her bodice. There's the word honey to go on the jar. There's not a few antenna on the side. Antenna go on the bees and things. So there's not a huge amount of back stitching, but a little bit, which will just pick out some of the details in there beautifully. But there she is, my Bee Queen. Okay, I need to take a moment and resurrect the disaster that's on the floor now, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, I'm not sure what order these are in now, but anyway. Okay, so my next whip is Only Once by Sweet Wing Studio. This is a pretty little pattern that I hadn't seen until very recently, and I'm stitching this as part of a gift for a friend, and I'm making nice progress on it. I'm stitching it on 36 count pale cream Edinburgh linen, and I'm stitching it 1/2. So it's not the most saturated of coverage, and the birds and the house in the white are a little bit muted, I guess, on the fabric, but not as muted as they look on camera. It's much more obvious in real life. But I really like this stitch, and I like now that I'm down in these letters. These are nice kind of broad rounded letters. I really like these. So just a little bit more to do. 2 more rows of words. A little bit of fill-in on some of the letters have fill-in, like the B and the O's. Some of them have a little bit of fill-in. And then a similar border at the bottom. It doesn't have this big flower in it, but it's a similar border across the bottom. And that would be that one finished. So it's not too far away from a finish, and I'm really happy with it. Excuse the lines in my linen. That's from rolling it in when I'm stitching in hand. I did press it, but I didn't want to over press it at this stage. It will come out when I do a proper pressing at the end. So that is Only Once from Sweet Wing Studio. Very sweet little stitch. I have also been keeping up with the Stitch Along for Across the Pond. This year on the Across the Pond Stitch and Chat Facebook group, we decided to have a stitch along. This was our first ever stitch along as a group, and we had a little conflab and a vote last autumn, and we chose one stitch at a time from La Di Da. That would be our stitch along for 2025. So I'm hosting the stitch along on behalf of the group, and I split it up into assignments that could be followed if you chose. So I made that for myself kind of because I've got so many other things to work on. If, like me, you have other things to work on too, then assignment stitching for a stitch along can be pretty helpful. So I split it up like this. So we had part 1 was this top line, part 2 was here, then we had parts 3 and 4, so that was March and April, and there was a supplementary note to this to explain which parts to do. The house was May, which was a humdinger. Anyway, you get the idea, but it's split into 10 monthly assignments so that you can have a little break over the summer holidays or whenever you take your holidays, that if you need a little catch-up month, there's space in there for you to have some catch-up time. But it's been going really nicely on the Facebook group, and you're very welcome to join that Facebook group. The details will be down below. I do think that we hope to have a 2026 SAL, so sometime mid to late autumn, we should have some chat about that on the Facebook group. You do not have to join the Zoom calls. The Zoom calls happen once a month on the second Saturday of the month usually. It's an international Zoom call, and it is limited to 50 folks just to be able to manage it. But Marie and Angie, who run the group, Marie of Stitches and Diamonds and Angie of the Tiny House Stitcher, they manage it really super well. So you book on, and then you have a link to the Zoom call for that. For me, it's a Saturday evening. Here in the UK, it's a Saturday evening. You know, you link into the call then, and it's a couple of hours long, and we share what we're currently stitching. We maybe share what our progress on the stitch along is, and there's usually a question for discussion for the evening. So, you know, maybe what stitch alongs are you participating in at the moment, or what retreats have you attended, or, you know, it's usually something that gets conversation flowing. There is no pressure on anyone to speak if you don't want to speak, so you can just watch and just participate by being there, and some people choose to do that. Some people choose to do that for their first couple of times, and then eventually they want to join in the conversation too. So it's all managed really well. It's a lovely, lovely group, supportive group, and I always manage to have a giggle on that Saturday night. As I said, it is very limited. It's a big group now. It's really good to see that the group has grown. The Facebook group has grown. So there is quite high demand for the tickets because there are only the 50 spaces, but it's nice if you can manage to get one. So you're welcome to come along and join that. This particular sampler isn't huge, and it could be stitched between now and the end of the year if you felt like joining in. I know you would have to work a little bit harder, but you could stitch it. There were plenty of folks who finished it in January and then, you know, there have been plenty of finishes every month as well. So a lot of folks didn't stitch to the assignments, and that's all fine. We left it very open that you could stitch at your own pace, but we put the assignments there to help those who wanted to stitch that way. So as I said, if you fancied it, you could certainly join us now, and you'll find the information about the assignments if you're interested in stitching it that way in the Files tab of the group page. So anyway, that is me finished talking about the group, and here is my effort for the month. So, so this side of the house is months 6 and 7, so it's June and July, and for June we were to stitch these 2 floral motifs, the tree trunk, the little flower, the bird, and this heart that's here. So that's it. And then of course, then in July, I'll fill in, there'll be more blossoms like this and a couple of birds, I think, in the tree. I think there's one more of these over here as well. So I'm really pleased to be keeping up. It's been a nice schedule actually. It's not too heavy every month. I know that the house was kind of heavy stitching, but it's been a nice schedule to keep up with. So, and it's been lovely to see everyone's progress on the group. Some people have changed the house color. That's a nice thing about the Facebook group, is that there are so many of us of doing it, and lots of people are making it their own, and so there are some red houses in there as well, which is really nice to see. What I meant to say, what I was really starting to say about the Zoom calls, is that you do not have to be part of the Zoom calls to participate in the SAL, and nothing is ever discussed or decided on a Zoom call about the SAL. All of that takes place in the posts on the Facebook group. So it's not that you have to be part of the Zoom call to just help decide what the next project will be or anything like that. Everyone who is part of the Facebook group will have an opportunity to contribute to those kinds of decisions, and that I don't make any announcements on the Zoom call about the SAL. All of the announcements about it are made on the Facebook group. So sometimes I've had a couple of comments, people said, oh, I'd love to do that, but I don't want to do the Zoom, whatever. You don't have to, and you're not missing anything. You will not miss anything. And on the Zoom call, we just maybe discuss, because people show what the project is, and we just say, oh, isn't that lovely? And oh, I like your thread changes there, and I love your fabric choice and whatever. But there are no actual critical decisions taken or made on the Zoom call. So if you just want to be, a little more anonymous, or or just a little more silent, you're not sort of outgoing enough for the Zoom call, there's no problem at all. You can still fully participate in the SAL. Anyway, that is enough chatting about that. Sorry if I went on about that for too long, but that is my progress on one stitch at a time. Okay, next I have started yesterday was the summer solstice here in the UK. It's on the 21st of June. I know in the US you guys have on the 20th of June. So the summer solstice means that it's time for me to start the Summer Lady from Barbara Anna's Four Seasons. I will put the picture in here. This is a Barbara Anna pattern, and you can get it from her Ko-Fi shop. If the easiest way to do that is, well, you can go to Ko-Fi and just search for Barbara Anna Designs, or if you go to her Instagram account, Barbara Anna Designs, in her profile she has a link tree, and there's a link to the pattern there, or a link to the Ko-Fi shop. Anyway, you will be able to find it. So Jackie from Comfort Stitching and I were both excited when this pattern was released, because it had previously been exclusively a kit with Knitka Moscow. But Jackie and I were excited when it was released. We both purchased it, and then Jackie invited me to join her for a stitch along of it. So we decided that what we would do on the 21st of December for the winter solstice was start with the Winter Lady. Jackie and I both being Northern Hemisphere ladies. But we said, if you're in a different hemisphere, you can start with the Summer Lady or start whatever way you want. Just join us if you would like to. So every summer solstice or equinox, every solstice, not summer, every solstice, winter and summer, or the equinoxes, spring and autumn, we are starting the relevant girl or lady. So we have winter done and spring done, and now we're on to summer. Now I want to stitch mine all in one piece. As you can see, Jackie and some others are stitching theirs separately. On different kinds of linen. It was really fun to see. And people are making changes to dress colours and hair colours and whatever along the way. So it's been a lot of fun to watch and catch as well. So I started yesterday on the Summer Lady, And I have changed her hair color and changed her skin tone as well, for a little bit of diversity here. And I'm hoping that her cheeks look better. They look better in person than they do on screen. So honest opinions here, are her cheeks the wrong color? They were supposed to be a paler pink, but obviously she was supposed to be white skinned on the original pattern. And then I did tone up the pink of her cheeks a little bit because she now has darker skin. But should I change it again? So it looks a bit funny on screen. It doesn't look so odd in person, but I don't know. Anyway, tell me honestly what you think. Should I change it? And what should I change it to? Or is it okay the way it is? Anyways, I'm looking forward to stitching and getting into her dress. The dress details have been the most fun parts of these stitches for me. I don't love the arbors, but I think that's just because I'm impatient and I don't want to do all that counting. So, but her arbor is strawberries. So it will be white strawberry flowers and then hanging strawberries, where these are, you know, hanging snowflakes and hanging butterflies. These are hanging strawberries. So I'm stitching on a 40 count natural linen. I have to say it shreds my thread like anything, so I'm keeping my DMC lengths very short. I don't know what it is. Maybe there's maybe they keep a little bit more of the natural linen in it, you know, the natural linen fiber, but it shreds like anything. It's a Spygart fabric, but 40 count white or 40 count antique white doesn't shred it like this one is doing. So maybe it's just an anomaly with this particular piece of fabric, but it looks good anyway, and it's not insurmountable. As I said, I just keep the thread length shorter so they're not experiencing the friction, wear and tear of being pulled in and out all of the time. So that is my start on summer. And that, I think that's all of the whips for now. Yep, just one new start. I know, I'm not supposed to. I've got enough going on, but my friend Marianne is having a big birthday this year, and she is having a birthday sal inspired by Sally and I last year to do our 50 starts. Marianne is doing 60 starts this year, and she is using hashtag milestone birthday sal 2025. Now for this month, she and on the summer solstice, she was starting one of the Robin Pickens seasonal courier designs. She was starting the Blue Jay one. I think Sally is going to start that one with her. I'm not sure if she has. I'm sure she has already. But I didn't have Blue Jay, but I did have Robin's Spring, and I said, I don't have Blue Jay, but can I join you for Robin's Spring anyway and kind of provide moral support even though I'm stitching the wrong pattern. But it's kind of, you know, it's in the series. These are a beautiful series from Robin Pickens. I think they came out last year, 2024, yeah. I added it to stash and hoped that I would have a good excuse to start it. So this is my good excuse to start it for Marianne's birthday stitch along. So I'm stitching on a 25 count. I've obviously used a bit for an ornament. It's 25 count coffee craft fabric, so it doesn't have a color name. And I'm stitching 1/1 with the called for DMCs. The colors in this are fantastic. It's gotten a little bit overcast outside, so I'm hoping that colors are still showing up well for you. And it's going to be teeny tiny on 1/1 on 25, but it's going to be lovely. So I really enjoyed this. Robin Pickens is a quilt designer, so a lot of her designs have sort of quilting references and elements in them, and I really enjoy that as well. So really nice to start. I know it's not exactly the same project as you, Mary Ann, but I'm here in spirit, and I hope that you're still enjoying all of your starts. I know you were telling me recently that you've been diverted by having some babies to stitch for, which is a wonderful diversion to have. But you know, just keep counting and keep enjoying, and you're almost halfway through the year, and you're doing really great. So well done, and thank you for letting me join you with the wrong stitch. So that is my new start for this time. My plans are to keep up with only once. So it is, I want to keep it in focus because it is for a gift. So as I said, it doesn't have too far to go. A couple of lines of text and that nice bottom border. So I would like to get that one finished soon. So maybe by the next time I see you, or certainly by the end of July. I need to have a new daily thread project, which I haven't decided on yet. So the straighten your crowns, those were my daily threads. I don't know, I could go with Robin Spring, which I'm tempted to do, or I do need to add one more gift stitch to go along with a couple of the other gift stitches. I'm doing a little selection for a friend. I'll explain this all later on, but I have one more that's sort of in that package. So that is another possibility for the daily thread stitches, to get that started by doing a daily thread on it. So I'm going to have a think about that before tomorrow and see which one to put into the daily thread for the next little while. And then of course it's July soon, very, very soon, next week. And there will be Christmas in July, or Jolly July stitching, whatever you call it, whatever you work towards. Do you work towards it? Tell me about your plans for Christmas in July, if you have any. I've seen lots of folks already mention it, so people are starting to think about it. Now, back in January, when I was kind of announcing my grand plans for the year, I think I had other plans in mind for Jolly July. I know that there's a big Christmas start I would really like to have made an effort at, but reviewing things now in the cold light of middle year, I think what I will do for Jolly July is try to focus on Glitter Village, because it's so pretty, and I had thought I might have been able to pick it up before now. You know, if you've been here any length of time, you know that I don't stitch in season. I'll stitch ahead for the seasons. I'm quite happy to stitch Christmas all year because I love Christmas stitching. So I had thought that that Glitter Village would have been part of my stitching before now, but I haven't gotten to it yet. And I think that a focus in July would be a good thing to get it moved on. I have 2 houses left. So it's a, is it Cottage Garden Samplings? I think it's Cottage Garden Samplings or Little House Needleworks, one of the two. And it's 9 different houses, churches and houses. I have 7 of those done. The 8th one, the top border bit, is started on, but nothing else. So essentially I've got 2 more to do, 2 of the 9 patterns to do. And I think, I don't know if I'll get them finished in July, but I certainly think I could move it forward and make progress if I make it a focus for Christmas in July, and don't get distracted by having a new Christmas start when I could be working on that. So that's the thought at the moment. We'll see what happens when it comes time to actually pick up the needle. So those are all the plans I have. There'll probably be a few other things creep up or creep in, but that's what I'm thinking at the moment. Get connected is my way of sharing with you some way that you can connect into the community. And for this episode, I thought I would mention to you that Charlie over at Stitching with Charlie, she is having a finishing challenge. Now, it was for June and July, but I've only just picked up on it. So it's called Just Finish It June and July. And the idea being that you just finish it. Just get on and fully finish it. So if you're interested in doing that, you can follow her. She does have a hashtag, just finish June and July, where you can share your finishes. So I had my little time last Friday morning, just enjoying picking these projects up, the Jane Austen and the Jane Eyre piece, and getting them laced and into the frames, finishing the little cursed trios. So it's been nice to move them on, because they were sat for some time. So that is what Charlie is trying to do with her prompt for June and July, and she would love it if you would join her. So pop over and watch Charlie's channel. I mentioned her before quite recently, and she's fairly new, and she's lovely, so she's worth a watch, and that would be a nice thing for you to connect in with and see what other people are finishing, and share your finishes too. Okay, before I go, I've got a little giveaway, just with Christmas in July in mind, and people are beginning to think about the Christmas stitching. I bought this at market for you. I haven't shared it yet. It's Nativity Tiny Town. So I bought a copy for myself and a copy for you guys. If there's anybody out there who hasn't bought this yet, and I think the whole world probably has, but just if you haven't actually hit purchase on it yet and would like to have a copy of the chart, then please use the word Nativity in your comments. I will pick my random YouTube picker, hopefully, next time before I record, so in about 2 weeks' time. All the usual rules apply. I'm happy to send it internationally. Please don't mention words like freebie, giveaway, prize, winner, any of those words that the bots pick up on, and then they try to win it and take it away from people who I really want it. It wouldn't be a floss tube without me dropping it, would it? Really? Yes, the bots come sweeping in and try to steal it away from the people I really want to have the chart. So use the word Nativity, be over 18, because I will be asking for your mailing address. But I'm very happy to post internationally too, so don't discount yourself just because you don't live here. So that is today's little giveaway. That's all I have for you. There's nothing more to share. Next weekend, I'm going on a nice little girly weekend. We have the group of 5 of us who go away, and sometimes we go away and stitch. 4 of them, the other 4, have 0 birthdays this year. So different numbers on the front, but all zeros on the end. I, of course, had my 0 birthday in December. So we're heading off to a nice little cabin on an island in the loch, and we're going to spend some time together just celebrating the zeros. So that will be nice next weekend, and then I hope to be back the weekend after that in my usual 2-weekly rotation or schedule, to share with you what I've been up to in the meantime. So until a couple of weeks' time, please remember to stay well and stitch happy. I'll see you again. Bye guys.